Profile has been compiled and recorded by Dustin Cormier, a Scorpio born in the year of the Metal Ram, 1991, and in the hour of the Rat. Snake, called the Psi branch traditionally, born 1953, 1965, 1977, 1989, 2001, 2013, and 2015. Direction appointed to the serpent is south-southeast. The snake is a yin fire element animal sign. Its season is autumn and its principal month is August. The serpent is the sixth animal in the Chinese Zodiac. Keywords: wisdom, mystery, sensuality. Serpent correlates to the western sign of Taurus. The following information comes from Suzanne Levitt and Jean Tang's book, Taoist Astrology, a handbook of authentic Chinese tradition. Copyright by Suzanne Levitt and Jean Tang, 1997, and do not own the following content. Please note, usage of masculine and feminine pronouns in some of these Oriental astrology texts may vary in certain signs. Sometimes the feminine signs, such as the sign of the snake, shall be described as a yin essence or as a female person, using the pronoun she rather than he. This is simply because the essence of the sign of the snake is traditionally considered yin or feminine. Keep in mind that the descriptions of the snake which use the pronoun she are equally true for the male snake as well. Serpent year. Chinese serpent goddess Nu Kua formed the first people from yellow clay from the banks of the Yellow River. This creation myth is one of many Taoist tales starring magical, mysterious serpent. The serpent is associated with goddesses and heroines who assist women in childbirth and bless children with remarkable talents. Serpent heroines charmed and helped scholars learn the Confucius classics. Asian cultures represent serpent and honor her feminine yin energy, unlike the West, which associates serpent with cold-blooded evils. The Chinese classic tale tells of a 1,000-year-old serpent who practiced magic and transformed herself into a beautiful woman. Through her charms, she married a scholar, and her life was very happy and content. But a Taoist monk pursued her because he knew that she was not human. The monk was an expert at capturing shape-shifting animals who falsely assumed human forms. Wise Serpent outwitted him many times before he finally exposed her dual lives. The year of the serpent is a time of introspection, planning, and seeking answers. People will ponder and think before they act. Good taste and elegance will prevail in fashion, theater, film, and all the arts. Serpent wisdom influences contributions in the sciences through new technological inventions and discoveries. Auspicious year for gambling, investing, or taking any financial risks because the calamities of the previous dragon year can continue into serpent year. Expect political extremes, scandals, and the exposing of secrets. The snake's triangle of affinity, the earth triangle, who are called the thinkers of the cycle. The snake is part of the second triangle of affinity, the group made up of the most purposeful and steadfast signs of the lunar 12. The ox, snake, and rooster are the dutiful and dedicated fighters who strive to achieve great heights and conquer by their constancy and unfailing determination. These three are fixed in their views and given to thought and systematic planning. They are the most intellectual signs of the cycle. They depend on their own assessment of facts and figures and give little credence to hearsay evidence. They are the signs most likely to comply with the dictates of their heads than their hearts. Slow and sure in their movements, they like to act independently. They will invariably seek each other out and can intermarry and intermingle most successfully. The snake will encounter his most serious clashes of personality with people born in the year of the boar. Anyone whose ascendant is the boar will also come into conflict with the snake native. In the circle of conflict, the snake and the boar are 180 degrees apart and thus total opposites. The snake has fire as its fixed element, while the boar has water. In their ways of thinking and philosophical outlook, these two lunar signs are worlds apart. Like fire and water, they do not mix well. They can form relationships only through intermediaries or if they happen to share the same ascendant, as in the boar being born during the snake's hours, or the snake person being born during the boar's hours. Aside from the most compatible signs for the snake, the ox and the rooster, and the least compatible, the boar, the other 9 lunar signs are compatible with the snake to varying degrees. Snake personality. Enchanting serpent is creative, attractive, and talented. Serpent individual is very sociable and loves making friends and creating contacts and networks, but she can appear cool and aloof at times. Serpent possesses both charm and a mysterious quality, yet she won't easily reveal her thoughts to anyone. If she allows you to get close, you will discover that Serpent is a sensitive, caring, compassionate, and humorous person. Serpent is extremely determined and strives for things she desires regardless of circumstances. Unlike Dragon, who accomplishes set goals through intense outward actions and activities, Serpent accomplishes her goals through careful plans and calculations. Serpent is not afraid to take risks and has immense mental capacity to turn the outcome in her favor. A great observer of human nature, Serpent has keen perceptions. Rarely is she openly aggressive, even though she may be secretly plotting the next move. Serpent has incredible patience to wait silently until the time is right. When attacking a target, she is swift and focused and rarely misses. In ancient Taoism, the serpent is the symbol of wisdom. One born in a serpent year is usually philosophical and spiritual, with wisdom and grace. But serpent must not let her contemplative nature become overly pensive, brooding, or moody. Serpent possesses especially fine taste and fashion, and her clothing reflects artistry and creativity. Serpent can be frugal if necessary, although she prefers the luxury of a materially rich life. Both romantic relationships and family are important parts of Serpent's life, so she usually marries early. Female or male, serpents are generally very attractive, and their mystical and mysterious personalities only add to their charm. Rarely are they concerned with the lack of suitors. A natural philosopher and theologian who likes to coil up and contemplate, Serpent is psychologically complex. Just as Dragon's external events tend to be grand, Serpent's inner life is especially rich and detailed. Serpent constantly analyzes, scrutinizes, probes, and questions. On the negative side, Serpent needs to curb her immense pride and the tendency to want things her way. This could make Serpent uncompromising and jealous in relationships. Serpent can be ruthless when challenged. Since she is the master of the human psyche, this makes Serpent a formidable enemy. Serpent child and parent. The Serpent child will succeed in life through sheer willpower and desire. She is extremely intelligent, so enrolling your Serpent child in advanced specialized schools is recommended. The serpent born during hot summer months is more venomous and driven to succeed. The winter-born serpent is a quieter and calmer child, but that is the season when serpents hibernate. The snake child is a complex personality. Quiet, alert, and intelligent, he will possess a serious nature and will be inclined to be particular. Being the worrying type, he will assume a pensive outlook on life. He is studious and hard-working in school, and likely to be teacher's pet. Do not spoil him. The snake child is all too aware of his charms. He can be sulky, vindictive, and temperamental when not given his way. Although secretive and brooding by nature, this child will be able to discipline himself. He makes up his mind easily about what he wants and will be very practical about setting his goals. You won't find him reaching for something he knows is unattainable. Persistent, realistic, and unrelenting, he will stick to a task until he masters it. Besides his natural aptitude for learning and a high IQ, this child has the ability to keep his own counsel. He will not interfere with others and will prefer others to mind their own business too. Careful and attentive, he knows how to keep himself out of trouble. He may not be very outgoing, but he makes long and lasting friendships. Observant and calculating, he tends to check out all his options before making any moves. A capable and meticulous planner, this child excels as a leader, as he will use his powers wisely and fairly. Other children will look up to and support him. However, he could have ulterior motives for some of his actions. He is so intent on being first that he may not care what he has to do in order to remain in control and be number one. His many talents and natural abilities will make him vastly sought after, but he will also be the object of jealousy and vicious lies. He must learn to live with criticism and the other risks that come from being among the elite. His reticent character makes him hide his pain. He is likely to hold grudges for a long time. He is often misunderstood because he refuses or fails to explain himself properly. His lines of communication with others are sometimes poorly connected, especially if he is super secretive and super sensitive to criticism. Whatever happens, the snake child will always be able to fend for himself. In life, he will know precisely how to use people in situations to his best advantage. There will be no holding him back. He is destined for fame and fortune. The Serpent Parent. The Serpent Parent is reliable and conscientious. Her innate serpent wisdom can answer children's endless questions and calm their fears. The Serpent Parent insists on knowing their children's secrets and won't allow privacy, which may encourage children to lie. The same rules of compatibility apply as for Serpent Relationships. Serpent is most comfortable with ox, phoenix, and dragon children, who appreciate the security and constancy that the Serpent Parent provides. Rat, hare, serpent, and sheep children enjoy the lovely surroundings of a serpent home. Serpent may have problems with tiger, horse, monkey, dog, and boar children. Tiger, horse, and monkey are very independent and resist being smothered by Serpent Parent. Dog and boar children will become upset when Serpent Parent bends the truth or invades their privacy. The following material comes from the Handbook of Chinese Horoscopes 7th edition by Theodora Lau and Laura Lau, published by Harper Books, New York, U.S., copyrighted by the estate of Theodora Lau and Laura Lau Karmakar in 2010. The sixth sign of the lunar cycle, the snake. In traditional Chinese celestiology texts, the snake is often referred to as the strategist. This is the strategist's song. Mine is the wisdom of the ages. I hold the key to the mysteries of life. Casting my seeds on fertile ground, I nurture them with constancy and purpose. My sights are fixed, my gaze unchanging. Unyielding, inexorable, and deep, I advance with steady, unslacked gait, the solid earth beneath me. I am the snake. The sign of the snake rules the 2-hour segment of the day between 9 a.m. and 11 a.m. Persons born during these 2 hours are said to have the snake sign as their ascendant. They will display many characteristics special to this sign and will have great affinity for persons born under this sign. The snake personality. Philosopher, theologian, political wizard, wily financier, the snake person is the deepest thinker and the enigma of the Chinese cycle. He is endowed with an inborn wisdom. He's a mystic in his own right. Graceful and soft-spoken, he loves good books, food, music, and the theater. He will gravitate naturally toward all the finer things in life. The most beautiful women and the most powerful men tend to be born under this sign. A person of this sign generally relies on his own judgment and does not communicate well with others. He can be deeply religious or psychic, or, on the other hand, totally hedonistic. Either way, he trusts his own instincts rather than any outside advice. More often than not, he will be right. Like the dragon, the snake is a karmic sign. His life ends in triumph or tragedy as his past actions dictate. And although he will deny it, he is very superstitious behind his sophisticated front. People born under other signs may defer payment to the next life, if one so chooses to believe, but the snake seems destined to pay his dues before he leaves. Perhaps this is also of his own choosing, as a person born under this sign is unusually intense, and will seek to settle scores, consciously or unconsciously, in everything he does. A native of the snake year is not likely to be bothered by money problems. He is fortunate to have what he needs. Should funds be low, he's extremely well equipped to remedy the situation. However, a snake person should not gamble. He will come out poorer in the end. In the event that he does suffer sizable losses, it probably will not happen a second time. The snake learns fast. He can recoup with amazing speed, and as a rule is prudent and shrewd in business. But to a snake, money is just a means to an end. Snakes are considered ambitious because they strive for control through power and authority. However, a snake who experiences poverty or extreme deprivation in his youth may never get over it. He could then be fanatical about accumulating wealth and turn into a covetous and miserly person. By nature, the snake person is a skeptical being, but, unlike the tiger, he tends to keep his suspicions to himself. He treasures his privacy and will have many a dark secret locked up within. Elegant in speech, dress, and manners, the snake person dislikes indulging in useless small talk or other frivolities. He can be quite generous with money, but is known to be ruthless when he wants to attain an important objective. He has no qualms about eliminating anyone who stands in his way. Some snakes may have a slow or lazy way of speaking, but this does not in any way reflect on their speed of deduction or action. It's just that they like to ponder things, to assess and formulate their views properly. Generally, snakes tend to be very careful about what they say. It is never safe to draw a line and predict that this is how far a snake will go. His computer-like brain never stops plotting, and he can be viciously unrelenting. Remember, he is one of the most tenacious signs of the Chinese Zodiac. In his relationships with others, he is possessive and very demanding, and yet at the same time, he views his associates with a certain distrust. He will never forgive anyone who breaks a promise. He is also prone to be neurotic, even paranoid, where his pet fears and suspicions are concerned. When the snake's anger is roused, his hatred can be limitless. His antagonism is silent and deep-rooted. An icy hostility will express his displeasure instead of a volley of hot words. The more lethal types will like to crush their enemies totally. Time is of no consequence to him. He will wait patiently for years for the opportunity to strike at his foes. There is no predicting the snake's movements. His mind is calculation itself, as he has the staying power to wait until the next time is ripe for revenge. For those luckless souls who incur his wrath, self-exile to Siberia may not seem like a bad prospect. The snake lady is the original femme fatale. Her cool, serene, and exotic beauty will mesmerize people. She is confident and collected, although she oftentimes lolls around, giving the impression of indolence and a love of ease. But she is far from slothful, and her brain is never at rest. Despite being finely tuned and high-strung by nature, snake people of both sexes are characterized by beautiful complexions. The snake is usually not plagued with pimples or blemishes, even when not taking particular care of his or her skin. It seems that tension tends to affect the snake's digestive and nervous systems more than his epidermis. Underneath their flawless good looks, a good many of these natives succumb to stomach ulcers or nervous breakdowns from containing all that stress internally. Mrs. Snake will opt for well-cut clothes, fluid and classical in design. She loves jewelry and chooses her accessories with care. If she can afford it, she will buy the real thing: diamonds, pearls, emeralds, and rubies of the best quality. Besides being beautiful baubles, jewels are an excellent form of investment. No cheap gold plating or imitations for her, please. She is definitely not a peasant, and she would rather go without if she cannot have the real thing. You won't find her decked out in worthless junk. Her standard for a mate will be similarly high. She admires power and the influence money can bring. When she cannot wield it herself, then the next best thing is to marry or merge with it in some way. At any rate, no matter how rich or powerful her man is, she will be the biggest asset once they are married. And if he hasn't yet made the grade, but has the potential, the snake wife will move heaven and earth to make him a success. She will dress the part and play the perfect hostess, while shrewdly pointing out every opportunity along the way. With such guidance, dedication, and support, there won't be anywhere for him to go but up. The philosophical snake woman is never too concerned about the equality of the sexes. Why should she compete when she feels superior to men in the first place? Capable of holding her tongue, containing her ego, and using her talents with finesse and good taste, she knows exactly how to achieve her objectives. A legion of male admirers will fall over one another to carry her suitcases, open doors, and bring gifts and flowers, and she will play her cards in such a way that no one will ever really know how he stands. There is always that mystique and cool ambivalence. So you can't blame her if she seems a bit puzzled by all the fuss over equal rights for men and women. She has always secretly felt that a person must work with what he has and not waste time lamenting what could have been. Very much a lady who sets her own agenda and makes her own rules, she can be a formidable opponent when challenged and will seek to destroy those who cross her. Contrary to common belief, Mrs. Snake is not always a raving beauty. If you analyze her feature by feature, you will find she has some flaws. Her nose may be too large or her eyes set too close. No, with her it's the total effect that counts. She has her own unique formula, and when she puts it all together, it's magic. See the girl in the striking black number with no jewelry except a diamond brooch pinned strategically on her bosom? 9 times out of 10, she will be a snake. This lady loves expensive perfume too, another subtle but effective ploy that is part of the game. But she knows how to use such dynamite sparingly, just a touch here and there, enough to provide her with that clinging aura that makes her so alluring and irresistible. All snakes have a sense of humor. Of course, they may have different brands. Some prefer a dry wit, others are sardonic, scintillating, or at times even diabolical. Nonetheless, it's there. The best time to observe this is when he or she is under duress. In a crisis, when weighed down by enormous troubles, a snake can track a joke to lighten the atmosphere. Orientals sometimes regard the snake as a supernatural creature endowed with a touch of the sinister. This is because it lives a long time and renews itself by shedding its skin for a new one each time the old is outgrown. This particular trait symbolizes its ability to be reborn and to emerge from conflict with restored vigor. By now you must have gathered that it is no mean task dealing with the snake. What makes it even trickier is the fact that under all that serenity he is always on guard. His outward calm never betrays his true feelings. He possesses the wisdom to plan his moves well in advance. He has willpower and will maintain his position to the bitter end. He can be very evasive and elusive when he chooses, and just when you think you've got a grip on him, he wriggles free. Needless to say, he makes the perfect politician. He can negotiate anything under the sun when he puts his mind to it. The Chinese believe that snakes born in the spring and winter will be among the most deadly of the lot. Winter snakes are quiet and docile, as this is the time they hibernate. A snake born during a hot day will be happier and more contented than one born during bad weather. Snake people are passionate lovers. They are also reputed to have roving eyes. Actually, this is a false reputation which they have acquired because they are always sensual about anything they undertake. He or she may exhibit the same fervent, relentless ardor in chasing a much coveted business deal as in winning the affection of a latest heartthrob. Snake people usually lead dangerous lives, full of excitement and intrigue, especially those snakes who have an insatiable lust for power in the limelight. Wrapping themselves around the object of their desire, they can squeeze and crush the life out of it. Needless to say, once they attain power, they will not willingly let it go. The best partners for the snake will be the dependable ox, the dauntless rooster, or the illustrious dragon. You could do well by teaming up with the rat, rabbit, sheep, and dog too. The snake should steer clear of the defiant tiger, who may not appreciate his discerning ways. The impulsive and equally demanding horse will only make a mediocre match, while the clever monkey may challenge the snake with his own brand of cunning. 2 snakes can cohabit peacefully. The boar and the snake will not find much in common. The snake is sleek and sophisticated, the boar too honest and mundane. They have entirely opposite makeups. In times of confusion and trouble, the snake is a pillar of strength because he maintains presence of mind. The snake can deal with bad news and misfortune with great aplomb. He has a profound sense of responsibility and an unsinkable constancy of purpose. If these are coupled to his natural hypnotic charisma, he can reach the highest realms of power. Following information comes from Cosmic Astrology, an east-west guide to your internal energy persona by Mantak Chia and William U. Uwe. Published and copyrighted in 2012 by Destiny Books in Rochester, Vermont, U.S. I do not own the following content. The Year of the Snake. Positive traits: discretion, intuition, compassion, clairvoyance, sagacity, attractiveness. Shortcomings: extravagance, dissimulation, laziness, presumption, exclusiveness, cupidity. Snake people can find accomplishment in elected offices. They are effective negotiators, which is an essential skill for political success. Snakes are able to distance themselves when there is a predicament in which everyone is very tragically and seriously involved. Snake is not easily upset in such a state. With this posture of detachment, the snake supports others to lighten up and see the situation more clearly. This quality, coupled with snake's ability to slither below the surface and get to the core, makes friendships both romantic and professional with buffalo people and rooster people more propitious. Some snakes are seen as the most intuitive, introspective, refined, and collected of all the creatures in the Chinese Zodiac. The difficulty for snake is the popular image of snakes in the West. Even Adam's banishment from the Garden of Eden, as orchestrated by the evil snake, is a Christian image formed at an early age. The pejorative snake in the grass brands the person a betrayer of trust. In China, a snake living in a human abode is seen as a good sign that the family will not want for food. In the Chinese language, to call a woman a real snake is a high compliment. Snake people are quick and sharp-witted and become very good with the family or business economics. They do not have to work too hard to maintain a healthy cash flow. They are the natural leaders and attract the right people around them, especially the people who can help with the daily chores in order that snake be able to concentrate on what is truly important, more beautiful things. Mysterious and attractive, snake people can be very seductive. Do not cross a snake. You will plot a delicious revenge. Snakes can be lazy, especially after a victory. Snakes can be jealous and unforgiving. They are not especially communicative, and snakes can be quite possessive when they've decided on a course of action to achieve a business or personal goal. Snakes can be intelligent advisors and have excellent instincts. Snake is a thinker who also likes to live well and is seriously concerned with affluence. Snake loves the arts, fancy adornment, and gourmet meals and drink. However, their inborn poise and taste bequeaths a disdain of trivialities, narrow thinkers, and chit-chat ananda. In times of confusion and trouble, the snake is a pillar of strength because he maintains a presence of mind. The snake can manage bad news and calamity with self-composure. Snake people have a weighty idea of what responsibility entails and keep all eyes on the goal. It will be this constancy of purpose coupled with a natural hypnotic charisma that could carry a snake to the highest realms of power. Snakes emanate calmness and they understand other people, but they themselves sometimes are hard to predict. They find it easy to attain success and fame. They are selfish and would not mind using other people to get what they want. Snakes are very superstitious. Snakes have beautiful skin, and snake people should be sharp dressers.